All right, here we go. On this express lane, I want to merge my other identity as Yo Jeff, hip-hop dating coach Yo Jeff. And I've been waiting to do this. Oh man, it's been burning me. I've been writing, I even wrote one of the stories in my comic book maybe 12 years ago, you know, first erotic story. I was trying to give that a shot. I did a good job. I enjoyed the story. I liked the story. Anyway, I want to talk about the future of sex. Now, I've been making videos about my Kickstarter, Cyberfunk Streets, and Cyberfunk Streets was originally called Horror Streets, The Future of Sex, right? And I like that title, but all the stories are not horrific, you know. They don't have, there's only one horror story in it, really. Everything else is like Black Mirror. And they deal all with the future of sex, though. So they take place in the cyberpunk world, technology-driven, and it was really just me speculating about how technology would impact human sex activities, right? And human relations, right? Because in all the stories, there's only sex in one story. So it's really just human relations, and that's really a better subtitle for it. Now, my speculations stem from, or the stories stem from my speculations. And my speculation, what does it smell? Okay, I think I got the heat on or something like that. But my speculations really are just from interacting with people. I've seen things that are going on, problems that I see with my generation, men in their 50s, couples in their post-40s, right? Even stuff that I've seen taking place in my 30s, right? And then also, as a school teacher, I infuse a little bit of that, what I see in the generations coming, like the coming behind, so the 30s now, the 20s now, and of course teenagers. And I see I've been working with teenagers, man, since I was a teenager pretty much. But I've been working with teenagers as an adult since I was in my 40s, late 30s, you know. And what I've seen, you know, a lot of our concerns in terms of things that we had as problems, male and female relations, somewhat they still deal with. You know, of course, there's men that cheat and women that cheat, so cheating is a big problem. But the pressure to get married is not so much a problem. The pressure to find a man in the same way that it was is not a problem as much as it was in the same way, you know. I think women have changed what they're looking for, or what they allow themselves to be looking for. Now, they used to look for a man to take care of them, and there's probably a lot of women that still want that, right? But they want it now as icing on the cake. So it's not like they are having nothing. Like, I got students in my school now from other countries who are like, I'm married, I'm with my boyfriend, he's gonna take care of me. And I'm like, dude, you like 18, you need to pump your brakes on that reality, stay in school and get your stuff together. Now that's other countries. In America, you don't really hear specifically African Americans at 18 thinking they're locked into a man for the rest of their lives. Black women now understand that single parent is a struggle. Relationships aren't guaranteed. Locking somebody down with a baby is unrealistic. So you have to go to college, you got to get your education, you got to do you, or else you're going to be struggling jumping from dude to dude. My mom had 5 kids. My mom had 7 kids, 3 different baby fathers, whatever, and we still struggle because she doesn't know how to live outside of child support. And not to mention, dudes are getting child support now. So that whole hustle of the 80s and the 90s is a waste of time. These are children of those hustles, and they not repeating those hustles. It smartened up the boys, you know, and made the boys more aware of that. So now boys realize that, you know, the more smarter women, right, and I'm going to be prejudiced, right, the ones that are more savvy are getting educations, and they have to get an education on top of that. They can't just be, you know, some local drug dealer dude with a hot car. You know, the Michelle Obama generation, they ain't really impressed by that. They might not even meet you. They break up with you when you get to college. So, you know, you being a small-time hustler ain't gonna do it. You got to be Jay-Z. You got to be the big, you know, the big 50 Cent baller, you know, to keep up with a girl that's going to college because she's got ambition. And you got to be sort of well-read even as a drug dealer, you know, so, or street hustler, whatever it is, because, you know, everybody don't sell drugs. Drugs ain't what it was before, and that's another thing. So the street hustle is really a lot of different things now. It's not necessarily crack like it was in my generation. So drugs is hard. Plus, marijuana is legal in many places. So even the small-time hustlers that used to sell weed, they're not, you know, there's not much market for that. So that's a good thing. You know, you got Kevin Hart and what's his name, LeBron James, pushing entrepreneurs. So I have a lot of kids, especially my boys, talking about they're going to open up their own business. They already have an idea. I'm teaching 12th grade. They're looking out the front door with businesses. Very much like me, but I was going to college, and I didn't, you know, even though I had my business idea in high school and I had my name, I did not really start working on my business until after I graduated college. But so those things are really impacting. What's another thing? You know, I still feel like it's reflected in my story, the Banger Brothers. Men are being emasculated. You know what I'm saying? I hate that. I got to figure out how to stop that light in the back. But men are being emasculated. And when I say emasculated, their masculinity is being brought down to a human level, right? So maybe we want to say they're being humanized, right? But because we had such a high masculinity of machismo and caveman thinking, you know, you have to be a little bit emasculated to be brought down to the ability where you can have feelings, where you can cry, you can be sensitive without somebody being surprised. 50-year-old generation is a devastating thing. It's knocking dudes out. Drugs, depression, all of that. Mental health is a big issue because of the emasculation. One of the reasons that's causing it is the emasculation and this humanizing of men, specifically black men, brown men, right? American men. But for the younger generation, they're growing up with their fathers and older men having more sensitivities. So it's not knocking them out. They didn't spend 20 years, their adolescence growing up thinking whatever a man does is right, or, you know, this is what men do, and then getting older and hitting a problem and be like, damn, why am I crying? You know what I'm saying? Why did that bother me? Dudes is letting that stuff bother them in their teenage years, which is good, which is really great. So that's the difference. Also, it's not surprising women. You know what I'm saying? I had women say, he's too nice, because that was what it was in the early 2000s. Dudes was becoming nice. And then, you know, after the niceness, then they became too sensitive, you know? And these are the comments that I heard from women, right? So now they move past that, and women are like, yo, it is what it is. We've been hearing Charlemagne the God talk about it. We've been hearing people all throughout society talk about, yo, saying man up is disrespectful. It's emasculating for a woman to tell a little boy, man up, take it like a man. You understand what I'm saying? May not be their intention, right? But it is emasculating feeling. You know, every little boy that cries isn't a sissy. Men cry. And we don't cry in the dark like Michael Baisden had to tell people. We're crying in public, you know what I'm saying? And it's not because we are extra devastated. Yo, we may cry just like women cry because we're human, right? And now, you know, it caught the post-40 age women off guard, but now the younger girls, they're seeing boys like that, and they're actually appreciating it. You know, so it's not something that they are so surprised by. You know, maybe girls from, you know, other countries is not used to it, but the ones from this country are. And then, so that's some of the elements. And then there's so much option. Like, my friend posted a picture of faces of black people. It's like, yo, this was my 90s. I couldn't recognize nobody because they was all porn stars. And, you know, I watched porn a little bit in college, but then I had a devastating experience because my roommate brought in some porn with him in it. And I was like, I quit. I can't watch no more porn, right? And it was really, challenging for me. So now we're in the post-Pornhub, post-free Google porn era. And because of that, these kids have, you know, like a whole lot of basic sexual experiences visualized in their head, and I think that has an impact on them. I'm speculating about that. All I know is when I see the free porn, I'm like, wow, this is so easily available. I remember when it first was shown to me by a sixth grader, or we was being prepared for when I taught sixth grade. It caught me off guard. I was like, oh my God. So, that's a problem. That's a challenge, you know. So, when it comes to the future of sex, I think that's going to impact us in ways that maybe robots, and I'm going to speculate about this, robots will be able to supplement, because I think we may be asking each other to do things that are not as emotional. I don't know. I really think it's just going to go sideways. I remember I used to say, you know, don't watch so much porn because it warps your expectations. It takes the emotions out of sex, and that's what it does for an adult, right? I don't know what it does to a virgin adolescent. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea what it does to a virgin adolescent. I am speculating. I also think that robot, technology is going to impact the sex toy industry. You know, these cyber robots are coming out. Love robots is coming out. I think that is going to really have an impact on us. So, and we don't really talk about that. We don't talk about, you know, cosmetic surgery, how that's, you know, the Kim Kardashian body shapers, all of that stuff. We don't really talk about all that, and I don't know. I mean, I've seen the natural hair movement take out perms, but then wigs and lace fronts took out the natural hair movement, and we went right back to wearing straight hair and baby hair, you know. So I have no idea. I think technology, inventions, and creations really have an impact on us, and that's the downside of the future of sex. Maybe on my way home from work, I'll do a video on some of the good things. I think, you know, the humanizing of men is a good thing. I think all the relationship elements of our kids are good things. I think just the technology is the only part that love robots and the sex toys is the only part that really bugs me out. But anyway, like and subscribe. This is Jeff and Jeff Carroll on the Sci-Fi Express Lane. I really appreciate you. Like, subscribe, comment, and support this Kickstarter, Cyberfunk Streets. All right, peace.